If you just had 100 days to just focus and lock in, what would you do? So I just finished watching Ludwig react to a Mr. Beast video where a guy spends, however many days earning $10,000 a day in a grocery store. And Ludwig was like,
how often in your life do you have 100 days with nothing to do? The answer is almost never.
And he brought up the idea of the Dragon Ball Z hyperbolic time chamber.
Because I've always had a dream, maybe this is weird to me, but you know what I always loved from Dragon Ball was the hyperbolic time chamber. And I always thought, man, I wish I could hyperbolic time chamber piano. And like the reality is I probably could squeeze in 15 minutes of piano a day in my real life now and get good at it. But the idea of hyperbolic time chambering it and then just no time passing in my real world, but just being able to just master piano seems so sick to me. Like I would love to do that. And this is basically the only hyperbolic time chamber I have seen in the real world.
He would get really good at piano. I'm a huge Dragon Ball Z fan. It's one of the things that really pushes me in fitness and running Spartan races like my shirt says here. And I just thought that, wow, I'm spending all of my time. I have so many hours in the day. I work from home and I have so much time during the day that I'm just spending consuming and watching. Why don't I start creating? And like if I want to go into the hyperbolic time chamber, okay, so the hyperbolic time chamber, if you don't know what it is, basically it's another dimension kind of where you go in and then time stops in the outside world. But for you, it continues at a normal rate, right? And so you can spend an entire year just doing stuff, but one day passes in the world and you come out like super strong, buff, whatever. And so the idea is if you just lock in for that year and then a day passes in real life, you come back a completely different person, much stronger, much better, whatever you're trying to accomplish. You spend an entire year on it and you're much better now. But you can't really do that in real life. There's no real dimension you can access that you can just go into and lock in for an entire year and come back. It's only been a day, and you can't improve that way, really. But if you had 100 days to lock in like this guy did in the grocery store, earn $1 million, whatever, by getting $10,000 a day, if you can just lock in and focus, you have 15 minutes per day to focus on something over the course of a year, you might be able to spend, an entire, math is hard, 15 minutes times whatever over the course of a year, 365 days, 15 minutes a day. You'd be able to get a lot done if you spent that much time. 15 times 300 is a lot of minutes. And so if instead of spending an entire year locked in a hyperbolic time chamber, focused, like that'd be great to just focus and get stuff done and not a lot of time pass in the real world. But instead, if I can optimize my life around that and I can create stuff instead of consuming and spending my time that way, I've consumed enough. I spent 11 years doing it at this point. If I just start creating and don't stop and get over myself and my fears and just start publishing and get better at it over time instead of trying to be perfectionist about it and instead make progress, that could be my hyperbolic time chamber and that could be what I focus on. And instead of being distracted and instead of wasting my life and my time, instead if I lock in and I focus and I make content and I create instead of consuming, I think my life will be a lot better than it is. Because right now I'm just being entertained. I'm not producing anything. And I believe man and woman, everyone, was created to make stuff and produce stuff rather than, be filled and entertained. We're called, created, whatever, to put stuff into the world, innovate, create, help other people out instead of just receiving on our end and consuming. And I want to be part of that process now. And so today I've decided I've consumed enough. I tried going cold turkey the other day and I lasted about 18 hours and then I gave up. And so instead, you know what? I was going to say, one video a day, right? Instead of going cold turkey, and that way I can pour all of my other time into creating. But what if I do actually pour all of my time into creating? What if I, for the next 30 days, next 90 days, I lock in and focus? Let's do 100 days. If I go for the next 100 days, I don't even like saying it, no consuming content for the next 100 days. If I do that, let's see who I become. Let's see how innovative I get. Let's see how creative I get. Let's see how resourceful I get at using my time to produce instead of consume. And let's see who I become. I don't know what'll happen. It'll be 100 days of locking in and focusing. And so let's see what happens.